and today I'll be showing you the new MyRoute-app Silver setup so that you may benefit from all the features that our Silver subscription offers you. My name is Serge. I'm the host of MyRoute-app for these webinars, either here on Facebook or otherwise, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to MyRoute-app, the website and all the features on it. And today I will be focusing, as said, on the Silver subscription. For those of you that haven't seen me before, this is me on the most eastern part of Finland, and there also the EU. The trees on the other side of the water is Russia, and this year in June I drove down the Finnish-Russian border following the Iron Curtain Trail together with, Michel, the founder and owner of MyRoute-app. So we prepare those routes in MyRoute-app, of course, and we travel them with MyRoute-app navigation. And today I'll show you how you can do that too, either with your basic, and today focusing on the Silver subscription. As you can see, I'm showing the MyRoute-app website. I've switched it to English. If your language is German or French or even Spanish or Italian, you can select those as well. And obviously it's available in Dutch too. Once on the MyRoute-app website, you are automatically shown the MyRoute-app library. This is the Route Expert library, and this is where you find curated routes all over the world, and they are free to use, so you don't need any subscription for that. And maybe you want to find a route somewhere in the UK, you just zoom in to the area that you want to ride in, and you select one of the rides, in this case reviewed by Will Brooks, but there's plenty others. Here's one by Nick. I'll be going to the UK 2 weeks from now, meeting with Nick for the first time in I think 5 years that we've been working together and being friends via Facebook and MyRoute-app. So I'm really looking forward to discover Exmoor and Dartmoor with Nick. But if you want to discover these areas of Britain, then obviously you can find routes that go through Exmoor National Park as well. And this one, because he lives in the area, is also curated by Nick. So go have a look at that. As I said, you don't need any subscription to be able to use these routes, but if you want, you can. As a Silver user, there's a few additional features that I would like to show you now. So first I have to log in. If you haven't got your login yet, you can then choose to register. Obviously, you can then use the free trial. It's 14 days. You can benefit all the gold functionality and then choose whether or not you want to keep any of the functionality in Silver or go back to basic. I'll show you my login as a Silver member. And once we log in, you come to the what we call Route Lab, and again you see a map and a few buttons that I've explained in many other webinars. They are still on YouTube, so you can find them. I won't go into much detail of that right now. I rather focus on the features that are in the Silver subscription. One of those features is finding routes nearby. And nearby what, you ask? Well, let's make a quick route that we then have as a base to find some routes around. I click on New Route. I call them New Routes or New Route. So I know it's just a throwaway. I select OK. And let's go in the Netherlands from Utrecht. And the city of Utrecht has a large tower. It's a bell tower, so it's the Dom Tower. And the city of Groningen also has a very large bell tower, and that's the Martini in Groningen. And as you see, the algorithm now created the quickest connection between those points based on the toolkit used in my settings. As you may have noticed, I have the default OpenStreetMap selected as my map. So the map that you see on screen is the OpenStreetMap. This is an open source map kept by users of the map. So it's a really accurate map, as opposed to the TomTom and Here map that are under the Gold subscription. You can use the OpenStreetMap and have the functionalities enhanced compared to the basic MyRoute-app subscription, because I can now avoid things like toll roads and cities, and not only highways. Cities is great because I don't want to go straight through a city or a build-up area. I probably want to avoid some of that. So if I select avoid cities, you see that the route changes slightly. I'll have another example ready in a minute, and then I'll show you how that looks in more detail. Under Toolkit, you can also find the new Silver feature, Curves. You may know these from the TomTom map, and if you have a TomTom device, you can set your curvy routes on that. This is similar, not on the TomTom map, but on the OpenStreetMap. So this is really something special. And how curvy do you want it? Low, hardly any curves, average, or really high curves. And obviously, in an area like the Netherlands, curvy quickly becomes ridiculous if you're in a build-up area. This works best in more rural environments like Devon in the UK, or the Lake District, or maybe even the Moors, or in Germany, France, the Alps. That's where that feature comes into play. If I'm in a really built-up area and we only have straight streets crossing each other, obviously that algorithm cannot be as good as it would be in those more rural areas. As you can see under Toolkit, I have a few other features that are marked gold, so I still see them, but I cannot use them unless I, for example, upgrade to gold if I choose to do that. So going back to my last route, which is this one, I want to show you that we have a few layers. One of the things that I can do on this route is use Street View. It's here on the screen. You can find it here. It's the third button on the left, third button from the bottom on the left. You can see that the map will color blue. If I zoom in a little bit, I see the individual streets, which is also a helpful feature if you ever are in doubt, can I drive my bike up this road, especially in smaller and smaller roads up in Scandinavia or in rural areas in the UK or in Germany. Well, Germany is not a good example. Germany Street View is very, very limited due to privacy rules. But if there is a blue line and the Google Street View camera car has been there, there's a chance you can ride it. If even Google didn't go there, you can be sure it's not accessible by bike. So that's just a helpful feature. If I zoom in, I can see that I'm now on a dual carriageway, and maybe that's not my preferred type of road. So I can easily select another road, and I find this a little bit more enjoyable. So I pick up the, if I switch off Street View, of course, I pick up the route that I created and drag it onto the road that I like. Obviously, since this is a highway, I will probably need to put some more waypoints to get the shape that I want, and always make sure that you zoom in on your route points. Oh, we have a little bit of a timeout, and make sure that they're actually on the road instead of next to them. That's especially true when it comes to, for example, dual carriageways. If my route point is here or there, as you can see, it will create extra loops. So always zoom in and place your route points appropriately. So also in Silver, you can change the way, the shape of your route by just simply adding waypoints. Which brings me to the next feature under Silver, and that is called segments. Here I have 2 ticks on the list: show segments on map and use segments for calculation. And as you see here, there is a symbol in front of the route point names that hint to the segments that I use. I'll create a new route to Germany so I can show you how that would look. So I create a new route. I can do that on many places in my route app, and I go from Utrecht to Winterberg in Germany. There we go. First I find Utrecht. Let's do Domtoren again, which is the city center of Utrecht. And then I go find Winterberg in Germany, which is a very nice area to do some riding in, and it's a good base both summer and winter to enjoy yourself. Okay, so using the toolkit settings, not avoiding anything and not having set any curves, I have the fastest connection between the 2 points. As you can see, it's taking the dual carriageway highway here, and it's following the fastest all the way down to Germany. This is probably what I want for part of my trip. Here in the Netherlands, I typically drive to the country border, and then from there I want to go a little bit curvy, and then maybe the last bit I want to be really curvy. So how do I go about that? So here Arnhem, and this is where the country border is. You can see this is Germany. So right around here I place an additional waypoint, route point, shaping point, whatever you want to call it. And as you see, I have now 3 segments from Utrecht to waypoint 2, from waypoint 2 to Winterberg. And I'll add a 4th one, and I'll do that right around here, where we exit the highway. Let's put it somewhere around here. And again, make sure that you zoom in and place your route points really, really well on the street. Now I have 3 segments. The last segment, from where we leave the highway to where my hotel is, I want to go as curvy as we can. So I click here on the left on this symbol, and I change fastest to very curvy. And as you can see, it now becomes a very curvy route. The bit between the border and this route point, I want to have slightly curvy, or somewhat curvy, or maybe curvy. Let's do curvy. Or, to make the difference a little bit clearer, somewhat curvy. You can play with that, right? And even if you don't like the shape completely, you can change it by adding a few more waypoints. And I'll show you that it then automatically creates some more segments so that you can adjust the settings. And I know what you're thinking. I could also cut up the track in 4 bits and have a fastest and a curvy and a very curvy part. Of course you can, which means that you have to open a few different routes on your navigation system. Or you just take the bit that is really curvy and you get the quickest from where you are to the start of that curvy bit. Obviously that would work too, but many people have requested to be able to do the different segments in one route, and now you can. So by using this type of setting. You can have you can go from fastest to curviest and back to fastest in the same route if you wanted to. Okay, so now I'm looking at the shape of the route, and I think, yeah, is this the best road for me? That's where the layers come in. So maybe you've had a paper map on your tank bag when you were riding the Swiss or the German countryside, and you have used the Michelin map. And the Michelin map, if I select that here on the top right, I'm switching from OpenStreetMap to Michelin overlay, will show the green segments. And the green segments, you can see, are usually nice asphalt, nice road conditions, wide enough, so typically not the narrowest of streets and narrowest of roads, typically a good view, and typically nice and windy. So maybe you want to just add an extra waypoint and drag to this nice and curvy road, or maybe you want to drag it over to here and enjoy this nice and curvy road down from Soest, which is a Dutch name, but it is in Germany, down to there. And then maybe here in Winterberg, instead of going straight to my hotel, I want to make a small detour and go around here. And again, by placing my waypoints really accurately, I shape it perfectly to a route that works for me. So there we go. And as you can see, the segments have now multiplied, in the sense that where I put my new waypoint, it takes it actually divides the previous segments in two segments, and it will keep the same setting. So I can now change that from here to maybe fastest again for that particular stretch, and it will then take the fastest between those 2 points. So you have more and more flexibility using the overlay. And the overlay that you have to your at your disposal is the OpenStreetMap, the Michelin map that I'm showing now, and the OpenCycle map, which also shows bike paths, if you are ever interested in that. Obviously, you will see the other overlays as well, same as with the maps. If I now choose the Google Maps overlay, I get the question, do you want to upgrade to gold? For now, I don't want to do that, so let's leave it as that. I go back to my last route. And this is what we created. So I've shown you the silver settings for curvy and more curvy and curviest, the segments. And what you can also do is find some routes in the area, because you now made your way to Winterberg, but maybe you want to stay there for a few days, and maybe you want to ride a few curated routes that are in the area. So that's easy enough. You go to the menu on your left, and you'll find a few different segments here that I won't go into much detail for now. Favorites, you probably understand that that's the places where you want to go. Additional routes, additional track logs, points of interest like a hotel and a restaurant, that's also at your disposal. But what I wanted to show you is that you, above the functionality that is in basic, can now have your routes nearby. I select routes nearby. I select the range within I want to search for new routes, 45 kilometers, and that's 45 kilometers on either side of the route that I'm currently looking at. So if I now select find routes, it will show me a whole collection of routes that I can choose from. I can either add segments of these routes to my trip, and I'll tone it down a little bit by going back to 15, which narrows down the search a little bit. Or I can choose to add those to my my trip, or maybe find a round trip near the end of my destination, near my destination in Winterberg, and put that into my folder for next week's trip to Germany. So that's finding routes in the area, nearby routes. I can also find those in the library. So if I go back to Route-app, I forget my my previously made route. I go to the library and I put myself on the map somewhere. Let's zoom in. Let's go. Let's go somewhere here again in England. It says nearby routes. I click nearby routes. Then I zoom in on the map and I put my marker somewhere where I'm currently staying or where I want to have my vacation. I can set the diameter of the circle in which the system will look for routes, and then I can select either passing, so that the route that I'm trying to find is going through the circle, or I want something that has its start or finish in that circle. One may be a round tour, a circle. Others may start in this area but go all the way up to John O'Groats, for example. So you can find what works best for you. In this circle I found this nice route that we just saw earlier, but I also find this one going through Dartmoor. And it's Spooky Dartmoor, also by Nick. Very well-versed route expert. Many of the trips in the UK you'll find are of his hand. And this is a feature that you can apply anywhere, not only in Germany. I can also go to Winterberg. And we'll jump to Winterberg and put my second marker there. And now if I have a start or finish in either one of those two locations, it will find you a route between the two locations. Obviously there's not many routes now starting in southwest of England and then finishing in Germany, but if I would drag this one from here to there, for example, then chances are that there is a few routes that actually fit that description. No, obviously not. When I try to show that, then there's obviously not one that matches that description. It's either starting here or finishing. Let's try again. I'll finish this one. No. Okay, so let's do that again. Stop the search, do a new one, and I'll find you one that is actually in that area in Winterberg here. Winterberg. You can zoom in or you can just type the name like I did earlier. And now I put myself in. This is where my hotel is, and this is the same way as earlier. You can find different type of routes in that vicinity that you can then select for your vacation. The great thing is, if I find one that I like that is near my hotel, I can click View Route Details and then open this route and use it in my own account. And notice the shape of the route. If I click Use Route, I get a message saying, hey, this route has been created in the Here map, but as a basic or a silver member, you only get the OpenStreetMap. I select Use with OpenStreetMap, which is totally fine. The shape may change a little bit because the algorithms between the maps may differ, but I can still add a few waypoints in the same way I did earlier by maybe selecting the Michelin map and adjusting it to what I think is the best shape for this particular route. So even if the route has been created in a different map, you can still use it in the OpenStreetMap. Can I then also use it on my navigation system because I use a TomTom or a Garmin? Yes, you can, but the advice would be use it as a track. You can export it directly to your device using the connector, USB directly to your device, and then use the track on your device, or select Save As. Most of the navigation systems work with GPX. All the TomToms work with ITN. Select the format that works for your device best. And if you don't know what is best for yours, select Help with Navigation System. Typically, if you have to choose, get your GPX 1.1 and select Track plus POI. If there's points of interest in the route, it will also export it, but you need the track. That way, your TomTom and your Garmin will just follow it as it is displayed on this map, not using the recalculation settings in your device, using the map settings in your device. So this would be an ideal scenario for users of MyRoute-app Silver. There's one more thing I didn't show you yet, and I'm going to do that right now, because this nicely created route I can also have animated. MyRoute-app under the left side menu offers animate, and animate creates a quick animation, as the word says, that you can have at different speeds, different zoom levels. You can add pictures to it, and you can make a preview of your vacation routes, or you can make a quick blog type video of the routes that you all had already rode on during your trip to Germany in this case. Intro or not, do you want a song there, do you want to share it publicly? And then if you start the preview, this is what happens. It's a round trip through Sauerland, and we'll zoom in and we will show you the information that's on the route points, and this red dot will follow the route line, and then you can have a presentation of the route. I can cancel the preview. I can also use the slider bar on the bottom to quickly go around this round trip and find that nice curvy area and maybe zoom in on this. If it wasn't in Germany, I probably could use Street View. Sometimes you find small blue dots around nice areas like here, and you can still click on it and maybe see part of the environment. In this case, it's a photo of a cafe by the looks of it. Sometimes it's the view here like this. You can see somebody took a picture and posted it on Google. So it's there, but in a very limited fashion. Other countries other than Germany, Street View will bring you a little bit more information. What features are included in Silver, I hear you ask? Well, for that we jump to the shop. Because why would you choose to have a basic over a no account, and why would you choose Silver over a basic account? I can quickly tell you that. In basic, this is what you get. You can share your routes online, you can use the Michelin map layer, but you can only store maximum 25 routes online. That doesn't sound like a limitation if you only have a few routes, but if you have been riding a motorcycle for years, you probably have maybe in previous route planners, you already have a big collection. You've been harvesting routes from different groups on Facebook. 25 is really not that much. In Silver, you have unlimited storage online. You can find the nearby routes that I showed you by adjusting that slider and finding routes in the area that you are staying, or routes in the area of the route that you're currently looking at. Route segments, curvy as opposed to fastest in the same route. Curviness in itself, obviously that's a nice feature to have. Otherwise, it would be a gold feature under the TomTom map and the Here map in a sense. But in the Silver map, you can find it, in the Silver subscription, you can have it on the OpenStreetMap. Avoid cities, have Street View, and have MRA animation like I showed you. And if you want to compare all features, just click the link Show All Features, and you can see the difference between no account, basic, silver, gold and the navigation, and you can scroll down and compare everything side by side and decide what works best for you and what feature is important to you to have. How much or how few costs MyRoute-app Silver then? I'm already a lifetime member, so for me it shows already bought. But if you were to select either yearly, monthly or lifetime under this button, you would see that there is a bonus feature for now, only $39.95. It's on sale for lifetime silver, and it will offer you all these great features that I hope you enjoyed me showing you. And I look forward to seeing you on the road using these features to create and find and share the best routes via MyRoute-app. That's all I have to share with you today. Keep yourself enrolled on our newsletters and check back online, because here under What's New you will find announcements for our future webinars and also for our future developments. And on that note, I just realized that during the Dutch webinar that I did half an hour before this one, Michel came in showing me the new beta version of MyRoute-app Mobile, the free app that you can use on your mobile device to find, track and even simply navigate routes. Michel's coming on cue, he's coming in here now. The feature of nearby routes is also available in the mobile app. I'll go to the big screen so you can see me up close. Michel's phone is in Dutch, but it says here, routes nearby. Let's see if I can put it in front of the camera. Routes nearby. So here it says routes nearby. And you have the same features that we showed you on the big screen, but you now have it in MRA Mobile, which allows you to see all these nice routes on your mobile device while you're traveling. And you'll find the information on that route as well. So you can read that. It's in Dutch now because Michel's phone is in Dutch, but obviously if you have your phone set to English, it will be in English automatically translated. So even while traveling, you don't even need your PC. And this is so fresh. This has just been released in beta. We expect it to be able to be live next week, somewhere next week. So look at the socials and keep yourself updated with the latest, and you'll soon enjoy routes nearby in your new MRA mobile app as well. I hope this information was helpful to you. I wish you safe travels and great rides using MyRoute-app and MyRoute-app navigation. And I look forward to seeing you again maybe 2 weeks from now. We'll tell you where and when in the known fashion. Thanks for your attention. See you next time. Bye bye.